sorting through a loved one's belongings, why it's so hard, and how to make it easier. That's our topic today. We'll get started right after this. If you've recently lost a loved one and are now responsible for their home, you already know it's not just about selling a house. It's about facing closets, furniture, lots of belongings. They all hold a lifetime of memories. Sorting through a home and the personal property, it isn't just physical work, it's emotional. Today I'll share with you why sorting through and letting go can be so hard and some practical ways to make it easier. I'm Kim Ward. I am a certified probate real estate advisor. I am the broker of Horizon Real Estate's Probate and Trust Help, and we primarily work in San Diego, California. So why does it feel so hard? It's because there's emotional ties in most cases to your family's home and your loved one's belongings. Every object, it can carry a story and a memory, and letting go, it can actually feel somewhat like letting go of the person. Some people, they feel guilt or an obligation around the personal property, and some people, they feel like they should keep the items and possibly preserve them for future generations, for the children and grandchildren. Some people face what we call decision fatigue. Hundreds of items, well, it can make us feel stuck, especially when each item needs to have a decision made about it. And next is fear or possible regret, as in, what if I give this away and I regret it later? I once worked with a trustee, and we'll call her Ellen. Her mother had saved every letter that Ellen had written to her when she went to college. When Ellen was sorting through the house, she came across this huge box of those letters. It's amazing that she wrote so many letters. I think she was even amazed by it because it didn't seem like that over the years that she was at college, but she wrote to her mother a lot. At first, she felt like she had to keep all the letters because they represented the tie she had with her mom. But eventually, she chose to keep a handful of them after she read through them, a handful of the most meaningful letters to her. And she didn't just throw out the rest of the letters, she took photos of them, and that's how she preserved them digitally. I thought that was a great solution instead of holding on to this entire box of letters. And she did tell me that later it felt like a weight had been lifted from her shoulders when she figured out what to do. So here's some strategies like Ellen came up with that can make things easier. You might want to have what we call a holding zone. Maybe some boxes that you just label holding. These boxes would be used for the not sure of yet items. If you don't touch those boxes in the next few months, it's safe to let them go. You're also going to want to have clear rules around how you're sorting through the items, especially if you have help from family and friends. You really only want to keep what would be useful to you or what you truly love. This simple rule makes the tough decisions easier. Next, you want a 3-pile system. Keep, donate, and sell. It helps if you just start small, one drawer at a time, or maybe even one shelf at a time. And then just like Ellen did, you can capture the memories and release the objects. So take photos of sentimental items that you really don't love and want to keep forever, and maybe write down a little story about that item. That way you keep the memory, but you don't have that physical clutter. And if you can, give cherished items to family members or friends who will cherish them. Another family that we helped, they had this really large dining table that the family would gather around at special times, holidays or birthdays. maybe even Sunday dinners that they had with their mom. Our client, the trustee, Robert, he really struggled with not keeping that very large table because he was saying that it kind of felt like maybe he was not honoring or even losing those memories with his family. But of course, the table was way too big for his condo, and no one else in the family had a use for it. So we talked through it, and we decided it was best to take a bunch of pictures of the table. And when his family was there, we actually had them stand around the table and took pictures of he and his family with the table. Then it was donated to his mom's church group so that they could hold holiday dinners around it. He said that made him feel really good that that table was going to continue to make memories just with different families. Next is to get support and some perspective around the personal property. Sorting through a home doesn't have to be a solo task, and it really shouldn't be because it's pretty overwhelming. Invite your family, invite trusted friends to help you, and they can help you to also see things through fresh eyes. And just remember that letting go of these things doesn't mean that you're letting go of your loved one, because the memories, they will remain, just like with our story about the dining room table. I just helped my sister-in-law. I flew to Ohio to help her because her husband passed away, and helped her to sort through so many things. And she felt good because all of his clothing and a lot of her clothing, because she was going to be moving to another state to be with her daughter, went to a charity where it helped unsheltered families. And that made her feel really good about letting go of, her husband's clothing as well as her own. And what I realized by being there with her is that sorting through your loved one's things after the loss of them is one of the hardest parts of settling an estate. If you're walking this road, I hope that these ideas and these stories that I've just shared with you are of value to you and help you to feel less overwhelmed. And remember, again, you just don't need to do this all alone. People like me and my husband will come and help you get through this process. We hope you found this of value. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell button for next week's video, because here at this channel we are sharing important information for trustees, administrators, and executors and their family members, especially when they're going through this process. Thank you for watching. See you next week.